we're gonna kick it off with the budget. So this is not the first smart money move that we want you to make, because the budget, you guys, is key. And I know that a lot of people, they cringe when they hear the word budget and they think, oh, Rachel, that means we can't have any fun.
Right.
That means that life is like, it's limited, it's constraining. I don't wanna live on a budget.
Budgets are for poor people, right?
Yeah, people, I wanna enjoy life. And so you have to get over that hump, because you have to realize that a budget is the thing that's gonna give you control. Let's use this budget as an example. We're gonna use a couple, let's say they have a toddler.
Yes.
And they're gonna make the average household income, which is $71,000. So when you look at that, after taxes, it's $57,800. So divided by 12, that's $2,400 per paycheck that they're getting. They're making $4,800 a month. And so we actually have Jake over here, Mr. Jake. He's helping us fill out all of the EveryDollar stuff. So Jake, thank you in advance for your quick math. This is gonna be great. Okay, so we're gonna use them as an example. So for the starting budget, you need to know it's your income minus all of your expenses, including giving and saving, should equal 0, okay? So as you see, we started with giving, and you're gonna go down, there was some savings up there, and then this is all the expenses. So you're gonna go fill out every single thing that you spend on throughout the month. And so as you look, it's all of this, and then the last bit, Jade, which is hard, is the debt. You're gonna fill out the debt section. So this is credit cards, student loans, car payments, any type of debt that you have, smallest to largest.
Yes.
You're gonna fill it out here. And what you're gonna see is your income minus all of this. You're gonna see this number. And in this example, it's almost $800.
That's over.
In the red, right? So they are negative that amount of money. And what that shows me, Jade, is a lot of people, and we hear this all the time from you guys, that you feel like your money is just, it feels out of control, or you're kind of scared because you're like, I don't know exactly what's going on. It's this restlessness that you feel around money. And the truth is, that's probably very legitimate, because this could be your situation. So we don't want to scare you and freak you out, but this is the power of a budget, you guys. All these feelings you're having around your money, where you feel insecure, you don't know what's going on. The thing about the budget is you're actually facing it head on. You're seeing the numbers, you're seeing the facts, which is so important to get ahead. So that first money move we want you to make is to create a budget. And so this is an example. And then the next thing you want to do is use the budget to get margin, which means you're going to look and say, hey, where can we cut expenses, which is number 2.
Yeah. Before I get to number 2, I just want to sympathize, because you are going to do the budget and you're going to go, oh crap, I've been overspending all this time. No wonder I have an American Express bill, right?
Yes, right, yeah, and the reality hits.
Just understand, like, it takes a couple of months to get this right. Like, the first time, you're really just guessing, you're doing your best. It's gonna take a couple of months to lock in. The first time Sam and I did our budget and really wrote down our numbers, I felt worse before I felt better, right? And so I just wanna acknowledge, this is a process. Keep walking down the road.
Give yourself grace too in this, for sure, for sure.
Grace. So budget, now let's talk about, okay, we've got all these expenses. Let's talk about cutting expenses. Now, caveat, because I know, Rachel, as soon as I said that, people were like, what are you about to cut, Jade? What are you taking away?
I'm having fun.
I know.
Don't take money away from me.
Don't take it. But here's the thing I want you guys to remember. Rachel, all this, everything we're talking about, it is temporary. That is the word of the evening. This is a temporary, short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. So hang with me as I cut our budget back, okay?
And anyone can do this. Can I say this? You're gonna see this and you're gonna be like, oh gosh. But listen, for a short amount of time, anyone can do anything, right?
That's
for a few months, you can do this. So where are we gonna start, Jade?
Well, if it's me, I'm starting on the biggest budget buster that we all know. Say it with me. Food. Oh, takeout and groceries and 7-Eleven and Sonic, okay? Restaurants. When it's time to get out of debt, when it's time to find peace with our money, we've got to make sure we're not overspending. And so we're starting with this category that is the biggest one. I'm going to cut restaurants because they're a want, not a need. I'm cutting it down to 0. And I know, Rachel, like, it's like, ugh, like hurt me.
Because it's convenient, right? As you're out and about, all of this. But again, you're going to say, we've done math on this so often. We get so much hate for this because everyone's like, no. Eating at home is cheaper. And it may not be the most elaborate, the most wonderful meal, but for a season, you can do it. We say beans and rice and beans here at Ramsey, and that's it, you guys, limited. But let's up groceries.
Yeah, let's put more in groceries, because the fact of the matter is, if you're never going out to eat, you're probably spending more money eating at home and making better meals. So let's up that to $500. And already, Rachel, I hear it through the interwebs. They're like, Jade, family of 4 eating on $500, explica por favor. Rachel, help them understand what we're doing here.
Well, here's the deal, you guys. Again, for a season temporarily, think about your grocery budget. And I get it. This is a place that you can overspend so quickly. But where you shop is so important.
That's
There are
right.
expensive grocery stores, and then you got Aldi, right? You got places that you can save. So for a season, shop places like that. Make a list before you go. Actually, if you can go online, if there's a place that you can go online and fill everything out without extra charge or delivery fees, but to be able to say, if I can do pickup, that way you can see your total. Even buying store brand stuff versus branded. Can I tell you, Jade?
Amazing, yes.
Okay, in my house for my show, I did this experiment just this last week, you guys. 4 different items. I mean, this is like raisins, animal crackers. I mean, nothing like big. I did store brands versus name brand. My kids didn't know the difference except for the Honey Nut Cheerios. They did know that. They were like, this tastes different. Besides that, those 4 items. And then I did the math to say, okay, if we bought these twice a week over time, it was $360 per year.
Look.
And that's just on those 4 items, you guys. So think about that. I mean, these little switches, I know it seems like we're nickel and diming, but wherever you can find, that margin is big. And Jade, I want you to share, if you will, real quick. I'm spontaneously putting
let's go.
But the story of you and Sam when you were in the grocery store, you guys were on this journey, but y'all were so hardcore of like, we're not going over budget. We set this amount of money.
Yeah.
And the oatmeal came into play.
Oh gosh, I knew this is where you were going. So let me really quick. So we were probably year 6.5 into our journey, had a little bit left to go. And I mean, it's down to the wire. Every cent, every dollar counts. And I had a grocery list. I would not enter the store without a grocery list. We're going through the aisles. I look and I notice there's a box of oatmeal in the cart. And I'm like, looking at my list, like that's not supposed to be in the cart. And so I see my husband, Sam, and I say, hey, did you put that oatmeal in the cart? He says, yeah, it was me, but it's just one box. It's just a couple of dollars. I look at the list. I'm like, is it on the list though? He's like, Jade, it's not on the list, but I feel like we can't. And I'm like, Sam, it was like one of those moments where you're just eye to eye and you're like,
totally. It's
like,
a moment.
Help me understand. And so we're facing each other face off. And I start to see his eyes like glistening. He's like, Jade, it's just oatmeal. And I'm like, it's not just oatmeal, because if we start sacrificing in this area, we'll pull back in other areas. And that's how it goes. It's like a domino effect. You pull back here, you pull back there. And before you know it, you're not intense anymore. And before you know it, that road that you were walking on to get debt free, it gets slower and slower and slower. And so it was one of those moments where it's like, no, let's put it back. And he wasn't getting teary and misty because of oatmeal.
No,
he's getting teary and misty because it
matters.
It matters. This is emotional for us, right? Being able to go out and spend, that's an emotional feeling. And when you tell somebody, hey, take that restaurant category to 0, we're not going to sit around and act like that doesn't hurt. We're not going to, look, Twist and Shout does not taste the same as Oreos, okay? Nobody's going to act like they do. But is it worth it? Absolutely. So that's where we landed on that.
For that season.
Yes.
Okay, so where else can we cut, you think?
All right. Number 2, you guys are subscriptions, Rachel.
Oh,
subscriptions.
Yes. Millennials on average, you ready for this, you guys? 17 subscriptions on average that millennials specifically have, which is wild. So,
and they're usually duplicates, so let's go in and look. We got HBO Max and Netflix. We don't need both of those. And Disney.
Yeah, we'll keep Disney for now, just because we got a little kid in this example.
Get rid of HBO Max.
Yeah. Get rid of Apple Music. You can YouTube the music you want for free.
And Amazon Prime, stop what you're doing right now and delete Amazon Prime
that one
from
hurts.
your phone, because y'all know you're spending too much. I'm included in that. All right, what else? And
lawn service.
Oh, lawn service. And that's the thing, Rachel, go through, because there's lots of miscellaneous items. Once you make your budget, you're thinking of everything you might spend money on. And you're gonna see a lot of things like buy your own lawnmower on Craigslist and cut your own grass. So scroll down, Jake, and let's see some of these other things that people spend money on.
Some of this is legitimate, and that's the other thing, you guys, about the budget. If you're filling out a budget, you want to make it realistic, right? If you put 0 for all these categories, that's not realistic.
Right.
So make it realistic. But so like fun money can be there, a little bit of miscellaneous.
Yes, that's fine.
Because there's going to be stuff that comes up throughout the month. So some of this is good. But what you see up there in the red, Jade, is that we were almost, remember, negative $800, and now it's almost, it's $467.
We're going in the right direction.
Which is great.
But we still have more to do. So let's talk about getting your income up, right?
Because the formula when you're looking at the budget is really 2 factors. It's your expenses, the money going out, and then the money coming in. So we talked about expenses. Let's talk about the money coming in, which is income.
Income. We can look at that in 2 ways, right? There's your core income that you make from your main job, and then there's the side hustle, right? That was like the buzzword of the last 3 years. Side hustling, right? Extra money coming in. And let me tell you, if you make a great core income, this is the key you need to drive this number up so you have extra money not only to make your payment, but eventually pay off these debts and make quick progress. So let's take a...
Yeah, from Bree on Instagram, she says, I'm a teacher What are the best side jobs to pay off student loans? Ooh. So yeah, Bree's a great example. So if you're a teacher, I would automatically say, can you tutor on the side? Like, what are things that you can do that you already have the skill set, you're already doing maybe in your day job, that you can take and actually make some money? And I talked about this on my show as well, Jade, because there's so many lucrative side hustles out there, you guys. So it's everything from food delivery service, pet sitting, babysitting, even things like jewelry cleaning we found that people pay for. Wrap your car. If you're going to be driving, companies will pay you to wrap your car as you're driving. It's amazing.
That's right.
Referee sports games. I mean, there are so many options out there, you guys. So look at those side hustles. And you and Sam, you guys did a bunch as you were getting out of debt.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking, as you're saying that, I'm like, obviously, like your own job, like overtime at your own job, right?
For sure.
Some of y'all are nurses, you can get that overtime. That's great. What Sam and I did is we took the things that we were already good at, already passionate about, and we turned those into side hustles, because then you get to set your own hours, set your own pay. So we were both musicians, so we did lots of different types of music lessons. My husband's great at like technology, so he did websites. I love cooking and baking, so I made wedding cakes and cupcakes and all of that stuff. So find something that you like. The goal here is we want to make between like around $20 an hour.
Yeah, $20 an hour. And again, you guys,
that's fair.
And remember this, we're gonna be a broken record up here because we want to drill this in your head. Temporary. We always say live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. So all this extra working, all this cutting expenses, I know it can feel overwhelming. It's for a season, okay? On average, 18 to 24 months.
What?
It takes for people
to
get out of debt. 18 to 24 months. Year and a half to 2 years, okay? So just drill down and really focus on that timeline. So yeah, but with the side hustles, Jade, like you're saying, if you did $20 an hour, 15 hours a week, extra.
The aim is to get to $1,000 between you and your spouse, or if you're single, just you, $1,000 extra dollars after taxes. So you're able to come in here and say, okay, I'm taking home $1,000 here, her side hustle, $1,000. Like, I feel like that is very feasible. So that's thing one.
And now we're out of the red.
Look at this.
You guys, so $1,500 in the positive, which is so exciting. This is where the momentum really starts to pick up.
That's excellent. So we've talked about side hustling. Now let's talk about the other part of your income, probably the most important part of your income, your core income. This is what you're earning from your main job. Now, if you're anything like Sam and I, some of us, our core income is not sustainable as it is. When Sam and I first started, we were making $30,000 between the two of us. That's not good, okay? So we needed to make steps to make it better, and some of you need to do that too. It might be looking at a completely different career path, and Ken Coleman, one of the personalities that we work with, has such good content on that. You can check him out. It might look like certifications. It might look like moving to a place where there's more opportunity. Whatever it is, you need to sit down and start tracking a path to create a sustainable, higher core income long term. And I can't stress it enough. This is long term. This is going to take some time. It took Sam and I several years, really all of that 7.5 year debt-free journey to really get our income up to where it needed to be. So you can do that. Didn't happen overnight, but let's pretend that, the folks on our budget here, we'll call them Jack and Jane, because I just like that. Let's pretend that they found a way to get their income up over the long haul.
Yeah.
Let's say they're making $15,000 more a year combined.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Like, we can imagine that. So if they did, that'd be about $12,750 after taxes that they're adding to their paycheck. So that's about $530 per paycheck. So Jake, let's add that in. I think that's reasonable.
Quick
to bring
math.
home another $530 each. Totally reasonable.
Yes, and then you look up, Jade, you got $2,500, you guys, right? So you're starting to see this kick in, which is so great. Okay, next, let's look at what we call low lift, big gains. So first and foremost, take a deep breath, but I'm gonna encourage you to pause retirement.
Wait a second.
Pause your investing.
Rachel, what are you doing?
I know, it's the thing everyone hates. Everyone's like, Rachel, but it's free money. I'm getting a match from my 401k. Listen, what we have found is when you can channel all of your income, as much income as possible, to one thing, and you focus all your energy, all your time on one thing, you get it done that much faster. Because if you pause retirement, again, this is on average 2 years, maybe into 3. After all that's done and you have a fully funded emergency fund, then you'll fund 15% of your income into retirement. So you will catch up, okay? So pausing for the short term. So what we have found, Jade, is that on average, people are contributing about 4% of their paycheck to retirement. So let's say they pause this. That's gonna be $118 per paycheck going back into, what'd you call them, Jane and?
Jack and Jane.
Jack and Jane's paycheck. Okay, so there they are. So we see that rising. Okay, so pausing investing. Number 2 is to adjust your withholdings. If you got a big tax refund this year, listen, that is money that was sitting in Washington. Maybe right now you have money sitting in Washington that could be in your paychecks to help you be paying off this debt.
Oh, and it's interest-free. It's just sitting there.
Oh, it's just
not
sitting
even
there. I know.
interest.
So adjust your withholdings, get your tax refund. On average, Americans are getting about $3,000 in a tax refund, which means some people are getting more, some people are getting less.
Wow.
But $3,000. And you think about that, and you divide it by 12, divide it by 2 paychecks, that's $125 per paycheck. That's
a lot of money.
That can be put back in, right? So it's like even if it's $100 here, $100 there, you guys, that changes the scenario. So after you do all that, Jade, look at that, $3,000 that we have, which is so exciting. And then last and not least, which we won't add numbers here, but I just would encourage you guys to shop your insurance. Shopping your insurance rates could actually save you thousands of dollars. And insurance you pay quarterly or annually, and you don't really shop rates. Sometimes you just kind of get plugged in and you just pay the bill. So we don't want you to be underinsured by any means, but go and shop your rates from car insurance, life insurance, and just see, hey, could I get a better rate on this? And that could save you a lot over the long haul. So, Jade, this is where the budget, you guys, gets empowering, because you start to see we started in the negative. Remember that feeling, and now as you start making adjustments, you're getting to actually see this work. But then the last one, Jade, which is, people are not gonna like you. They may like me at the end of this, Jade. I don't know if they're gonna like you because of this. No,
don't log off. Stick with me. Okay, I want you to consider your car payment. I know. Here's the reason I can tell you this. I would never tell you to do something that I have not first done myself. And here's the fact. All right, Rachel?
Yeah.
Most people are paying somewhere between $500 and $700 a month for one car, for just one. And I know that there's a lot of 2-car family households watching tonight. So here's what I'm saying. Look, again, I'm not going to tell you to do something I wouldn't do myself. Sam and I used to have 2 cars. We had a Jeep Liberty that we paid $303 a month for. Then we had a Hummer H3 that we paid $434 a month for. That's over $740 a month. That's a lot of money. That's more than a student loan payment, okay? And all I'm saying is some of you, I don't know, like Jack and Jane right here, they've got a RAV4 and they're paying $615 a month for it.
A $32,000 loan is what they took out.
That's $32,000 weighing on your shoulders. What would happen, Rachel, if they said, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna take this car. It doesn't matter if you're upside down, because I hear the objection.
Yeah.
Someone in the interwebs is going, but Jade, I'm upside down on my car payment. I'll take a $4,000 hit. I would say take that hit.
Yep.
Take that hit and then take you $4,000 cash with it. Go buy something in cash. Get you like a little $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 beater. Drive it temporarily. Okay? If you can't go with one, if you can't do one car, get you a beater for the second car. But get rid of that $32,000 of debt.
And that $600, let it be gone. And then look up, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost $3,700 at this point. So you're starting to see the sacrifices that you're making. It's getting you somewhere.
Yes.
It's not just doing it for the sake of doing it. It's actually towards a goal and towards a purpose. Because what's great about this now, Jade, is you can take that almost $3,700, and let's look at the debt here. So this is an Amex card they have.
The payment's $75 a month.
Yep, and it's a total of $890. Well, we've freed up all this, this income, $3,600, almost $3,700, that can be paid off right now.
In 1 month paid off.
So it's gone. And then you go and look at this student loan, $6,000 balance. Okay, so you won't be able to pay it fully off here, but you're gonna get close to it.
By next month, it's gone.
Yeah, by next month, it's gone. So what you can start to do, when you download EveryDollar for free, you can start kind of playing with these numbers, which is really exciting, because start mapping it out and say, okay, well, how long will it take us to pay off this debt? And you go down and you start to map out and see, okay, how much money is getting freed up because you don't have these other minimum payments. You're rolling it all to the next debt, And then let's just take it to the extreme, Jade. Let's just go all the way until this example of Jack and Jane, that they are debt-free.
Oh, come on.
And here's the powerful thing is after your emergency fund, there's $4,000, which means the side hustles are over.
Yeah.
You're done. You can breathe.
Let that go.
Then you have $2,000 left, right? Because the $2,000 from the side hustle that stops, to freed up that you can use. And that every month you have that That margin. And that's the power of getting your income back. That's the power financially and mathematically when you become debt free, is that your income is yours. And we know you guys work hard. You work hard for your income. You deal with jerky bosses. You deal with people you don't like. You sit in traffic, right? You work hard just to have your money being sucked out by all this debt versus it being there at the top where it's yours and it's all yours and you get to decide what to do with it.
And that's exactly, this was a perfect illustration of what I was saying earlier about these IDRs. This is when you get a lower minimum payment, so you get lots of extra money here. You can make that progress so fast. This, what we just showed you, is exactly what Sam and I did. That's exactly how we got out of debt. And I mean, it's temporary. You get to have the money back, and that's the best part. Live like no one else, so later you get to live like no one else.